I'm always interested in stories. Richard, maybe you can tell me the story of the free beer. Why does the phrase free beer and the whole idea of free beer mean so much to Kansas?
Well, we had gone to Liberal, Kansas, did a demo tape. We had just a few of them. We sent them off to different people. A friend was living here in New York, and we'd heard that Don Kirshner had a new record label. So it was sent to him so he could deliver it. So we're playing, I think it was in Dodge City, and during a break, the bartender says, "You guys got a phone call?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, hi, this is Wally Gold from Don Kirshner. We heard your tape, really liked it. I'd like to come out in a couple weeks and see the band." It's like, okay, what are we gonna do? Well, there was out in the center of Kansas, there was a little town called Ellenwood. That's just a few blocks, nothing near it. And at the time, it's since been torn down, it was an old opera house, the Ellenwood Opera House. And bands would rent the place for $100 or so. So Wally Gold is coming out. How are we gonna impress this guy? And how are we gonna get people to show up?
Yeah, what if nobody shows up?
Well, yeah, because usually it was like 10 people would show up. Well, what if we advertise, free beer? And so we bought some kegs of beer and was set up there. And so when Wally shows up, many people are in the street that can't get in. The place is packed. Wally probably doesn't know what's going on at all. And calls Don and says, "Oh, there's something really going on here with these guys. People are coming from everywhere. They're here on tractors for the show. They're there for the beer."
Tractor.
But a bunch of young kids came up with a very genius marketing moment.
How does what started out as a small band in high school make it all the way from Topeka to the big time?
Ooh.
The very big time.
We were fortunate to have some great material written. But there's so much incredible luck involved in all this, because there's always somebody better, a faster guitar player, a better guitar player, a better singer. There's so many things. We had a lot of tenacity. We were young enough to not have any fear of what was in front of us, and united enough to just march forward through it all. And so we just kind of kicked down a lot of doors along the way. Now, Topeka being quite isolated, but it was like any other town. There was a radio, and with the British invasion, the town exploded.
So, it was the kind of thing that, as Rich said, things would come at us, and we just used common sense and tried not to implode, because we're just taking these little steps. And here came this contract. We signed the contract. We went to the local IGA and bought barbecue to celebrate, because that's all we could afford. Because up to those 3 years before that, we'd been living on $1 a day. Each guy in the band got $1 every day. So you can imagine going through that when you have this opportunity. You just have to take a minute, don't be an idiot. Don't blow this. Use some common sense, get yourself signed to where you have an opportunity. And from there, we started, signed with an agency, and we started opening for other bands.
But this gives us an opportunity, and with your permission, I'll turn to Richard.
Sure.
When you were opening for Aerosmith, there is that story that somebody, perhaps you would want to identify somebody, thought that your band was so good that he wanted to pull the plug on at least the singer, so that when Aerosmith came on, they didn't feel challenged. You remember that story?
Oh yeah. Well, Aerosmith, we had done some shows together, and they were becoming popular at a little faster rate, but around the same time. And we had been playing together, and we got along great. We're playing in Kansas now, and this is kind of our turf. But we were still first on the bill, and they were closing the show. We had been told that their singer, which is nothing against him, it's a funny story now, but Steven Tyler, who is, a tremendous rock vocalist, but at the time he had a problem sometimes with the bands going over a little too well. And we were told that sometimes he would come out and unplug the band. So what we did was we ran dummy lines to where he could get to, and we ran our main power to another direction that was hidden. So he came out there to stop our show, and it didn't work, and I guess he got quite upset about it. And our bass player went after him, and there was a confrontation, and it wasn't a good moment. So many bands young bands in that era were all very competitive with each other. And now when you see them say, hey, how you doing? You know, it's not that way anymore. But at the time, just follow that. You know, you really wanted to show off what you could do. And there was a lot of camaraderie and energy that got focused into that.